Thank you, Matt. Good evening, folks. Dave LaCaro with I'm the Stormwater Program Manager for the city. Thanks again for having us tonight. This is certainly kind of a good opportunity for us to really just get to know you folks and for you folks to get to know us. So let's get started here. Stormwater, what do we know about it? Basically, what we do is we manage the drainage system that collects all the stormwater that runs off of roofs and streets and all the hard structures, goes into a piping system, and it goes into the Salinas River. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what we're doing here. So as I said, all the hard structures, everything that's running off, as far as, let's just define this. When I say stormwater, we're talking about rainwater. Anything that's not stormwater, car wash water, those types of things, obviously. This is all obvious. I'm telling you things that you already know. But for the most part, what I wanted to show you here, unlike my counterparts where their water goes through, collects and goes through a treatment system, stormwater is untreated. When it hits our street, it collects certain pollutants. It goes into these different structures. We have drain inlets, or these street inlets I'm sure you've seen. We have open channels and ditches. We have a combination of pipes that go, there's about 21 miles of pipe. So if you were to stretch the pipeline, it could go all the way down into San Luis Obispo. So why do we manage stormwater? We do it basically for two main reasons. Mainly, it's for us, right? We want to maintain the character and nature and beauty of our landscape of Paso Robles. So it's very important to us to make sure that we are good stewards of that water that's flowing off of the land. So what I wanted to show you here, this is Paso Robles in the 1800s. Let's fast forward to Paso Robles in 2018. So what we see here are more roads, more people, more buildings. What that leads to is more water that's actually running off and collecting pollutants. At the same time, we've got to manage this in the right way so that we can minimize some of the flooding and some of those issues that we get just in an urbanized area and kind of like these streets, right? The second reason why we manage stormwater is because we have to. There are federal and state mandates that have us do certain activities, actually what they're called the federal minimum standards. I'm just showing you a couple of examples here, but it really expands. There's a broad spectrum. And this is my opportunity actually to do a shameless plug. As you'll see down here at the very bottom, we have Creek Day that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. This is an opportunity for the community to get together, understand the importance of actually being a part of cleaning up some of these waterways, kind of bringing that stewardship back to why we do this, why we live here, bringing that beauty back. I also have a picture of illegal dumping. This does happen, believe it or not, still, even though you see all these messages. And so what we do is we're doing a lot of different investigations. I'm out and about, so if you see me, please stop me and talk to me. I'm very approachable. I want to educate you on what we do. And the next, of course, which is the very most important, again, this is just a very scratching the surface of the stormwater program, is our maintenance. So making sure that we're doing routine maintenance on what we talked about, those storm drains, those pipes. It's very important that we do this on a routine basis so that we're prepared for the rain. In fact, I was just talking to an audience member just a bit ago to say most of my work actually happens when it's not raining. If it's raining, and there are issues that are going on and I'm out in the rain struggling, it's because we had a tough time preparing. So most of my work is actually, I'm running around when it's dry. That's when I get most of my work done. Okay, so I called it kind of the water party. This is just kind of having fun. It's the evening and late in the evening, but what good would a party be without any party favors? So I want to leave you with 4 party favors you can take home with you tonight. Okay, let's get into it. Here's the first one. These are major goals that we want to do in the stormwater program, and it actually revolves around not only just beautifying Paso Robles and making it better and making these improvements, but also complying with all of these state and federal mandates that we actually have to do. So one of which is improving our aging system. We continue to identify a lot of these old pipes. In some cases, we've actually pulled out some pipes that are redwood, built back in the 30s, right? So we're starting to uncover a lot of these things, and we have to make these improvements so that we can then minimize the potential for flooding, okay? So we're continuing to do that. Different tracking systems, different mechanisms for us to do that. Next is to replenish groundwater. I have here different technologies, different pavers. We have porous pavement. One of the things that we're continuing to do is identify those opportunities so that we can slow that water down moving through the city. We can soak it into the ground to replenish groundwater. And at the same time, kind of a benefit that goes along with that too, is that we get to clean up that water as it's moving through the system, right? That's a very important part as well. So we find those opportunities, whether it's new construction or we can find opportunities in the improvements that we find around the city. Next is economic protection. So you'll see here in this picture, we have one of our contractor maintenance crews actually working on a storm drain pipe that was clogged during the 2015 rain event that we had, the kind of crazy event. But what I'm trying to show here is that by doing routine maintenance on the existing system that we have, we reduce the liability of some of these flooding or the risk of flooding. At the same time, we are able to, by reducing flooding, we reduce the risk of damage to maybe private property, homes, businesses. At the same time, we're actually protecting some of our roadways because those can get damaged as well. So it's almost like putting oil in your car. If you never change that oil, the car is gonna die. So we put these things in the ground, we need to make sure that we maintain them. So economic protection. And lastly, but very importantly, is water quality. We're here, this program is to ensure that the water that hits all of those hard surfaces and collects all that pollution is clean prior to actually getting into Salinas River. Why? Because of the habitat, because of the ability, maybe as some of our kids are playing in Salinas River or so forth. And fundamentally making sure that we kind of full circle bring back that beauty of Salinas River. It's an asset here in our community. Why not embrace that? And so this is something that, again, the Stormwater program revolves around. So I'm gonna end it there, aside from my quick little Creek Day speech, but I was serious. If you do see me out there, please, I'm always open for a discussion. My program is always expanding. This is just the very tip of the iceberg. So there's a lot of different fun, cutting edge things that are actually happening in the Stormwater department today. So appreciate it. Thank you.